See you soon.
If there was a definition of sports talk in the dictionary, it would say, the Directv E-Mak Show, presented by Feld Chevrolet. So without further ado, here's Evan Makovsky.
Good Thursday evening. Evan Makovsky with you right here on Team 1380. This is the Directv E-Mak Show presented by Feld Chevrolet. We will have Blues general manager John Davidson with us momentarily, but how about the Cardinals? A nice win tonight. Todd Wellemeyer, strong effort, and what can you say? Going down to Florida, taking 3 out of 4, coming off the weekend series against the Cubs. They come out, they go against a team that's in the wild card hunt, that's in the NL East hunt, and they did it in convincing fashion tonight as the Cardinals are victorious down in Florida, 3-0. And Ryan Ludwig with his 30th home run of the season. This guy is clearly an MVP candidate. You know, he hits a 2-run home run and a run-scoring double, so he has all 3 RBIs. And Todd Wellemeyer pitches a three-hit ball through 8 innings, and the Cardinals shut the door, and they now get ready to go to Cincinnati for a weekend series, having won 3 out of 4. What can you say? Wellemeyer 10-4, walks 4, strikes out 3 over 7 2/3, his longest outing of the season. We all know that Todd Wellemeyer has struggled mid-season since getting injured. He started out really fast, but Wellemeyer looks strong, and now with all the questions with the Cardinals starters, Todd Wellemeyer certainly comes out tonight with an impressive effort. He retires 13 straight Marlins at one point, and a shutout for Todd Wellemeyer and the St. Louis Cardinals. They take 3 out of 4. There's lots of Cardinals talk to get to tonight. There's lots of Olympic talk to get to tonight as well. And, of course, there is a lot of Rams talk as Steven Jackson still not with the club. But first up, Evan Makovsky with Blues general manager John Davidson. JD, how are you?
Good, thanks, Evan. How are you tonight?
Good. Thank you very much for making the time. Appreciate it.
Not a problem.
Start with Brett Hull, and then we'll get to the 2 Rangers that you covered as a broadcaster going into the U.S. Hockey Hall of Fame. Brett Hull, one of the leading goal scorers in NHL history, 741, 1,391 points in a 20-year career that included Stanley Cup titles in Dallas and Detroit. Just watching this guy, what can you say about Brett Hull?
I think that, you know, getting to know Brett when he played in Calgary, I remember when he got traded to St. Louis, and I was at the press conference in Calgary, and we talked. And I told him, I said, hey, listen, you're going to a great city. You're going to go to a city where you're going to love it. And it turned out to be just that way through his ability to learn and become a great goal scorer, an infectious personality, a fan favorite. And then getting to know him here and in Detroit, watching the way he scientifically played the position of being a goal scorer, also Dallas and elsewhere. He was a genius, in my opinion, not only with the way he shot the puck, but with the way he was able to get loose and get free. He was never a brash player on the ice. He was off the ice. But on the ice, he liked to sort of hide. He was smart. Sometimes you go for a line change and get to the bench, and then 10 seconds later step back on the ice when everybody else on the other team thought that he was gone for the line change. He'd be back on the ice, and they'd forget to find him. I also know that he could shoot the puck better than anybody during his time when he played in the league. And he had amazing ways of being able to release the puck with using the whip of the stick itself, with the almost like pulling a bow and arrow. You pull it and you let it go and let the spring of the bow propel the arrow. Well, he would let the spring of the shaft of the hockey stick propel the puck.
St. Louis Blues general manager and former Rangers broadcaster John Davidson right here on the Directv E-Mak Show. Evan Makovsky with you. You did, of course, cover the Rangers. As mentioned, Brian Leetch, an 11-time All-Star in 18 NHL seasons. He won 2 Norris trophies for the league's best defenseman and won the Stanley Cup MVP. You think of Mark Messier, and we'll get to Mike Richter in a moment, but where does Leach rank on that 94 Stanley Cup Rangers team, and throughout his career, what he meant to the New York Rangers?
On the team that won the Cup, there was a group of them that were the real keys, and Messier and Richter and Leach and Kovalov, amongst others. I don't think there was any passengers. Matteau scored a big goal to knock New Jersey out. A guy like Craig McTavish was a great face-off guy. Kevin Lowe was a real smart, strong defenseman for that hockey club. But I guess when you really think about it, the big three would have been Messier, Leach, and Richter. And talking about Brian Leach, probably through my 30-some years in the league, I'd rank him without question in the top 5 as being a professional athlete, professional hockey player. Very intelligent, very understated, very strong physically, even though he wasn't a big man, and a complete player. Offensively, defensively, take control of the game whenever he felt it was necessary, especially in the Vancouver Canucks series, which was their finals in '94, and they needed a win in Vancouver. He was the best.
What about, I'm joined here by St. Louis Blues general manager and former Rangers broadcaster and goalie John Davidson. Let's move on here to Mike Richter. He came in, if you recall, and he platooned with John Van Beesbrook, then pretty much took the job, 301 career wins. What defined him? What, first of all, defined him to take that job?
Well, the Rangers had 2 goalies that were young kids that really came along quickly, and that's Van Beesbrook and Richter, and they both were there, and they both were good. And they both had very good careers. Rangers had to make a tough decision. At one point, they either had to keep Richter or they had to keep Van Beesbrook. And it was a very intriguing, tough decision that the organization had to make. And they probably could have flipped a coin in some ways. Both good players, good goaltenders, good teammates, the whole thing. They decided to go with Mike Richter, and in hindsight, John Van Beesbrook went on to a strong career, and Mike Richter had a really strong career in New York. Obviously, going into the U.S. Hall of Fame tells you something. Won a Stanley Cup, played in All-Star games. The All-Star games that I remember him playing with Ian, he had epic battles with Pavel Bure. Yeah. And he would stop Bure on breakaways all the time. In fact, in the '94 series, he stopped Bure on breakaways. And Pavel was a great goal scorer, as we all know. But Mike Richter, I think what made him a consummate pro was his work habits.